What's up, everybody? Saltiest Gaming, and we're back with another podcast.
Yes,
Saltiest
sir.
Podcast.
Yep.
Saltiest Podcast, episode 11 in the
11.
house.
Heaven, 11. I don't know. There's
And we
some kind of
and we serve Slurpees.
Slurpees.
So we were talking about some interesting themes. Oh God, sorry about that. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that. Anyway,
No.
we were talking about some interesting things pregame about Google. That got a little juicy. I kind of want to talk about it, but we won't. We might touch upon it a little bit later because it is pretty interesting how that intertwines with the Connect conversation. So
Yes,
stay
sir.
tuned for that.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we have two members down on the podcast. Fonz has some issues that he's dealing with, and Glitch is dealing with some work situations. So we're going to be the three amigos tonight. Hope you guys will enjoy the topics that we got ready for you guys. It should be interesting tonight. How you guys doing tonight, Nick and Jago? What is up?
I am fantastic, brother.
Bro, I'm
You
good
guys-
now, man. I'm good
Yeah,
now
yeah.
after that win that the Seahawks pulled off, bro. I
Oh,
was. I mean, you should have seen me on Twitter. I was just talking trash, and then Russell Wilson threw a pick with like 3 minutes left in the red zone. I was like, "Well, this game's over," and I decided to turn. I went upstairs to finish doing my video and getting things together, and then I was like, "I'll come back down." And then they were driving, and they ended up winning the game. So, ye of little faith over here gave up on his team too soon.
All right, we're going to do a quick shout out. It's going to be a fire shout out to Punkiddish Gaming, Victor, Levi. What's up, dude? Skull Stomper.
Let's get the chat lit like it was last week.
ESN down. Let's get it popping, dude. Let's get some good
get it lit like it was
Stinking
last
corpse.
week. I ain't no damn. I ain't a Cowboys
Stinking
fan.
corpse.
Someone kick Victor out the dang chat, bro. You a Cowboys fan? Yeah, get out of here, bro. Get out.
I'm just happy my
So,
Panthers
yeah.
won today.
Oh yeah, I don't want to talk about my Cardinals. I forgot
Are they
about
on a bye
football
week?
today. Yeah, it's good they're on a bye week because it's over, Rocky, as they say. It's over.
It's over.
Our quarterback got injured, and it is over. So what do you guys been playing? Chat, I'm talking to you too. I'm talking to everybody. What have you guys been playing lately? Nick, let's start with you, homie.
Warframe, more Warframe, a little bit of NBA 2K, back to Warframe, and then a little bit of Cuphead, back to Warframe. I haven't touched Destiny in about 3 weeks, so that's that. And I'm looking forward to going to the Red Box and getting Assassin's Creed, and then I need to finish the first Wolfenstein, and that's what's on my list.
Oh, good game.
I heard someone crack a cold one up. Was that you, Jago? Sounded good.
That was me. That was me.
But what are you cracking? What are you cracking?
All right, we're gonna put a public service announcement out there.
It's called a 211.
You should be of age to drink. We do not, we're not about underage drinking. But if you are of age to drink, crack a cold one open and let's talk about some games. Jago, what's up, my friend? You had a little gaming session last night.
Ooh.
Yesterday during the day it was me, Stinking Corpse, Punkiddish, Space Cat for a little while, Noof Nukem, and So Shady for like 4 hours from like 1 to 4 my time. Dude, we played Titanfall the whole time. It was fantastic, dude. It was fantastic.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So did you?
And then other than that,
have you played with them before, or was that kind of a new thing for you guys?
I played with Noof one time before on the Call of Duty World War II beta, but other than that, I had never played with anybody else that joined us yesterday. It was good. Other than that, I played. I got Corpse to pick up Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and he started it today, so he's liking it. Played that. 'Cause that's my favorite Metal Gear game. Like I'm on my sixth or fifth playthrough now. And then I actually broke out my 360 and plugged it up and started going back through Asura's Wrath, as everybody pronounces his name. That's a great game too.
That's cool. Well, it's good the community's getting together. Social media is a good tool to, organize some gaming sessions and to meet new people. like I've talked about it before, Twitter is the place to be if you're in this community for gaming. There's this tight-knit community that we have going on in social media. And once you kind of get in the circles, you start, adding people and meeting new people. And then, that leads to different
it's fantastic, man. I love it.
Me and Jago met on a podcast, but he was on Twitter as well. So it's kind of like you go to these gaming podcasts, and then you get in the chat, you talk to people, then you find out they have a Twitter, then you find out they have an Xbox, they have gamer tag, and you hit them up and you play with them, and then become good buddies, and then eventually you hang out with them at E3 like we're planning on.
E3.
2018. We are definitely going to be hitting that up, and that's going to be something to look forward to coming up. But
working all this overtime.
As far as it goes for me, I've been hitting that Warframe up like a crackhead on a crack rock. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been, I don't know, man. I love looter shooters. I love the Borderlands franchise. I was all about Destiny 1, but I do not like the way the end game is for Destiny 2. So I've been hitting that Warframe up. If people don't know, it's changed drastically since it launched. I hated it when it came out because it was just kind of basic. You run down these corridors, it was repetitive, but dang, dude, the loot grind is awesome. And if anybody wants to hit that game up with me, I am down. Saltiest Gaming, one word. It's free to play, so you can download it and try it out. There's really no risk there. It's a third-person shooter.
Is it multiplayer?
It is. It's you can run through there with.
I downloaded it. I downloaded it like over a year ago, dude, and I've tried it one time, and I don't know. I never went back to it, but I didn't realize it was multiplayer.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you roll in groups and all that stuff. There's raids on there. It's a pretty legit fun game, man.
Yeah,
gotta try.
I didn't know that.
It's hard to explain the way the game is because it's just basically space ninjas. There's the Warframes have their own abilities and unique ability sets. So like if you're comparing it with Destiny has like the Titan, the Warlock, the Hunter.
Yeah.
And they have different subclasses. These Warframes have, so it's like their own. It's like a Hunter or a Titan. And then they have their supers. They have abilities they can use. They have different, melee weapons. You can have katanas. You can have axes. It's crazy.
I was gonna say that one time I played it, it reminded me when you said it. It kind of reminds me of Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And it's free. And it's a free game. I remember that.
Yeah. So a lot of people that were huge YouTubers or are YouTubers in the Destiny community that have tried Warframe out have got addicted to it, and they've moved on past Destiny because the end game for Destiny is piss poor. Let's talk about it. Let's keep it real. It's not
over
that
Destiny.
Good. I think almost it's crazy. The numbers of drop off right now, attrition rate for that game is crazy. It's like 70% right now. But anyway, I mean, people in chat, like I said, if you want to play Warframe, hit me up. I'm game. I'm on that grind, dude. I'm trying to get through the planets right now to get the because you got to go to certain planets to get the materials to make certain things. So I'm trying to get through all the planets, and it's just so much content.
And there's so many planets, dude. There's like I don't even know how many planets and moons there are, but it's a lot to get through. Mm-hmm. And like I said, and then Shady said, the open world is coming out pretty soon, so we got to get ready for that, and that's going to be
it's called called the Plains of Adelon.
What little bit I played of it, it did seem like I think I played it for like 3 hours, and I just forgot about it because other games coming out. But what little bit I played of it, it did seem like a very in-depth game, and that's been a while ago.
It is. And also like it kind of does start out slow at the beginning because you're doing Earth and Venus and Mercury, I believe, and you're going through all these things and you're going through these missions, and some of the missions start to be very bland and the same thing, and then as you keep progressing, it gets better and better. So I mean, yeah, dude, like because I was like, man, this is getting kind of boring, and then as we kind of got the Mars thing started to pick up, and now I'm like, okay, I can get into this a little bit.
Yep, it's definitely a game you guys should check out, and I don't know, I highly recommend it. Halloween's right around the corner. You guys getting hyped for that? Chad, are you guys ready for Halloween? I tweeted out some pictures of my family, my wife and my kid dressed up as Kylo Ren and Rey. If you haven't seen them, check them out. I'm not, my family's big into Halloween. I didn't dress up myself, but it's a good time of the year. I saw this awesome cosplay of a dude that was a hunter out of Destiny, and I was like, dude, can I take your picture? I'm like, dude, are you dressed up as a hunter from Destiny? He's like, yeah. I'm surprised you actually knew what I was, and I'm like, well, I'm hardcore into gaming, so it was funny. The kid was like 16 or something, so
I'm gonna dress up as Richard Nixon and take candy from the kids.
Oh shit!
Oh,
I've already took a lot of candy for my kid. She can't eat peanuts, so I go in there. I'm like, Butterfinger, can't have that. Can't have Reese's. So it's working out for me. Not for my waistline though. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's get into the first topic of the evening. Insomnia Games. This was earlier in the week. I want to touch upon it because it is an Xbox exclusive that came out in the beginning of the generation. If you guys don't know, Insomniac Games developed a game called Sunset Overdrive. It wasn't well received. You know, as far as it comes to single player games, I think it barely sold over 1 million copies. And they came out and said basically, and I don't know if this was just a ply on their point to try to get someone to sponsor the game or not, but they basically said we're waiting to make Sunset Overdrive 2, but we don't have a publisher. So basically, what this means is Microsoft is not, they haven't come to the table yet with them. If they haven't agreed to making a sequel. So I wanted to get into this topic and hear what you guys think. Like, what is the reasoning behind Microsoft dragging their feet on Sunset Overdrive 2? Should they make a deal with Insomniac Games? And if it doesn't get done and then Insomniac happens to make Sunset Overdrive 2 and it ends up on the PlayStation, would that be egg in the face on the part of Microsoft? So let's get into it. Jago, let's hear from you first. What do you think about this situation, my friend?
I don't think Microsoft's dragging their feet. I just think Microsoft it didn't make enough money. But they got to realize at the same time, there won't be how many consoles maybe out at the time in the wild? 10 million, 11 million consoles I heard maybe about that time.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it didn't make enough money for them, and I don't think they're investing in another, in a sequel. So, and at the end of the day, I don't think they really care if it ends up anywhere else, because if they wanted to make another one, they would have already done it. I mean, that game came out in 2014, so I mean, they've had plenty of time for them to make another one and be on the Xbox platform. So, it is what it is. I love the game, but I mean, ain't much we can do about it unless everybody bands together and just like bombards Microsoft with like an ass load of like, do it now, tweets and everything. So I mean, if you want it to happen, you just got to speak your mind.
Mm-hmm. True. Personally, I like the game. See, I started playing it back in the day, and I got kind of bored. I don't know what the reasoning was behind it, but it's kind of a game. It's different because you got to stay above ground. You got to like grind those rails, and then you can't just like walk around. So it kind of got like. I don't know. I didn't like that gameplay mechanic. It's fun at times, but it's only fun for a certain amount of times, and then it gets kind of overbearing. But it's interesting to see this. And then if you look at the Xbox community on social media, they actually started up what was it, a petition to get the game on the console, the sequel.
I did one, and I retweeted it and I voted on it because it was a good game. It was a different game. It was a colorful game. I think HDR would be like a fantastic for that game now. So I mean, I voted on it because at the end of the day, it was a new IP, and then it didn't go nowhere. Like Rise, Son of Rome, that game was the prettiest game at launch, and yes, it had some flaws with too many QTEs, but You know how where they could take that. I mean, they could add some kind of Destiny elements to it with the armor and weapons and change, and just a story. I mean, the story was fantastic anyway. Could you imagine what they could do with that game? But they haven't done it. So, and that's 2013. Microsoft sometimes got their head up their ass, I believe.
Yeah. Personally, I just think that in the beginning of the generation, they're popping out these single player games like Rise and then Sunset Overdrive, and they didn't do well. And it stems from the point that Microsoft didn't really, they didn't know their identity, or I don't know what was going on. They had a different president at the time. Donnie D was pushing to Connect and stuff like that. So we all know PlayStation's identity is in single player games, and then the beginning of the generation, we were pushing single player games. It's just, I don't think it's really Microsoft's forte, right?
No.
So Nick, what do you think about this situation?
Well, I was getting ready to say what you said about it was at the beginning of the generation, and they had different leadership, and they were wanting to go a completely different direction with the Xbox. It seemed like they were focusing less on games and more on entertainment and making your console the one thing that you need to do, TV, everything. And it seemed like they were focused on entertainment more so than games. And I guess they thought we're doing well on games. We can just try to get into something else. And it didn't work out for them. And they had to, turn over some of their leadership and whatnot. And I think Sunset Overdrive, and he mentioned Rise, I think those games like that kind of got shuffled in the mix. And I think they kind of just got forgotten about. And I don't think that, I think that Xbox just saw what they did, and it was a good game and it did so well, but we're moving on and we're doing the X and we're moving on to bigger and better things. We don't really need to redo this game. And and like Diego said, if people really wanted it, they would be clamoring for it. And if they don't have enough people clamoring for it, they're just going to go ahead and throw it under the rug and just not deal with it. Insomnia Games, or what, Insomniac, or what is it? What is it? Insomniac.
Insomniac.
They want to make another Sunset Overdrive, but it looks like they're either going to have to wait, or they're not going to get a publisher to help them put it out. And clearly, it's clear that Microsoft is not willing to go with another one either. I just think it all stems from 2013, 2014 on. Xbox One release wasn't very well, and they're just part of that era of the Xbox, and it's just going to get forgotten about.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy because I made a video on this, and I said that Microsoft is kind of damned if they do and damned if they don't, because the way I was saying it is Insomniac has mentioned specifically that they wanted the sequel to this game to be multi-plat. So specifically, if you're Microsoft going to the table and you're saying, Insomniac, if you want to get this game out, we needed it to be exclusive on the console again. And then Insomniac's like, nah, we don't really want to do that. What are you going to do? Publish the game, fund the game, and then it ends up like a Tomb Raider situation where it ends up on the PlayStation, a year later. Then you get egg on your face from the fans as well. You understand what I'm saying? So it's kind of a no-win situation, because Xbox needs to run a business. They need to be profitable, and then people are calling them budget soft and all this other garbage. I hate that name, by the way. It doesn't make any sense. They're a business. They want to be profitable. And let's be honest, this game, for whatever reasons, you could list off what Jago talked about. He said, the lower install base, the amount of consoles in the wild, et cetera, et cetera. The fact of the matter is it barely sold over 1 million. So it's not a sure thing. And, in the market today, we're seeing, these single player games getting phased out. So it's not a new thing, and it's not a for sure thing, and people like you got a lot of people pointing towards the PlayStation side, and they're like, well, we had this game, by Naughty Dog, it's a banger, and this and that, it's just like, that's not really what Xbox is known for. So what do you guys think? Are they screwed either way on this situation, or what's going on?
Go ahead, Jago.
I think it's too late now. I mean, I think Microsoft has moved on, and I don't think they really give a shit whether it goes to the Switch or the PlayStation, because, like I said before, if they were going to make it, they would have already had it made. It would be coming out this year, pretty much, and it didn't make enough money. Microsoft chalked it up as a loss. They said, "Screw this, we're moving on." We see how fast they act stuff that don't even come out. Scalebound. So I mean, if it is what it is, I think Microsoft is just over it, and that's fine. If it ends up on PlayStation, I'll buy it. As long as it looks decent.
Yeah, I think they're just ready. They're just ready to move on, dude.
I think. I mean,
yeah, it's just one of those deals where they're ready to go, and I think they're looking at what happened in the past and what happened in the earlier parts of the generation, and now they're ready to move forward with the X. I think that they're just reloading, and they're reloading the chamber, because I mean they did show us how many exclusive games did they show us at E3. I mean,
I want another Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. That game came out in 2013, and in my opinion, everybody's got opinions. Opinions are like assholes. We all know that. That was probably the best Metal Gear game. It was, and a lot of people didn't like it. I know why, because it didn't star Solid Snake. So what? It started Raiden. Raiden, he started in what? He became part of the Metal Gear franchise in Metal Gear Solid, or Metal Gear 2 on the PlayStation 2. And he's a cyborg ninja. Dude, he's bad. And that game is so good. Platinum Games made it. It's a single player. I mean, back then it had no microtransactions. It was no multiplayer. But the boss, it is a Metal Gear game. It's just all the bosses are just like bosses in Metal Gears with the Snake. The boss at the end of that game is freaking ridiculous, and the story is just so good. And if you ever want to feel like a badass, like cyborg ninja, play that game. It is so good. But do I think they're gonna make another one? Hell no, they'd have made another one by now. I'd be good with Metal Gear starring Raiden, but they only made one. That's a fail on their part, I think.
Yeah, it really stems down to the fact that all these games that they had in the plans were delayed to 2018. So a lot of people are panicking because where are the exclusives? Where are they at? And it's kind of like Microsoft.
If you don't support them, they're not going to make them. Point blank.
Exactly, and that's the thing. It's just like, how many of these people? So it's the hardcore top 5%, not even that. I would say top 1% in the gaming community that we interact with in these podcasts and on Twitter and stuff like that. The people that are signing these petitions that actually bought the game will probably buy Microsoft exclusives no matter what, because they want to support the brand. But when it comes down to it, Colt Eastwood has broke down the numbers, and it basically comes down to, okay, first of all, when it comes to exclusives, not that many people buy them regardless of what the title is. It could be the best title in the world, and only you're looking at a small percentage of the consoles that are out in the wild are actually purchasing these games, and that's the issue here. So if you're Microsoft, you're trying to get these studios up and going, but it's not an exact science, and it takes 4+ years to develop a game. It's crazy, and it's a crazy game, but they got to take risks. I'm not making excuses for them. It's unfortunate that Scalebound was canceled. We all know how hyped that all of us were for that.
I wanted that game so bad.
So it just, they need, like I said, 2018 is going to be a great year for the brand. We, at the end of the year, we had the X coming out. It's coming out within a few days. And then, we have all these games. We have PUBG. That's not, necessarily an exclusive. It's one of these games. And then, Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2, and then potentially Crackdown if it doesn't get canceled. So those are a lot of games right there, and they just need to, come out, and I don't know. They need a single player game that is like with some of the games that Sony puts out there. And I don't know if that's possible. I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll get on Fable. That's for sure.
I thought he said bagels.
Bagels. He's like, I want to eat some bagels. It's like, this dude has Tourette's or something like that. Oh, goodness gracious. So yeah, everybody in chat, if you want to see a Sunset Overdrive 2, type 1. If you don't care, type 2. And let's see what you guys have to think, because in the end, with the Saltiest Gaming, the Saltiest podcast, this is all about gaming and the community and getting discussion going. So let's get this chat popping. It's already going pretty well right now, but let's get it juicy like last week. You know what I'm saying?
So anyway,
yeah.
I just want them, if they're gonna come out with new IPs, man, like Quantum Break, Sunset Overdrive, these type of games, they pour so much resources into making these games, and then we get them, and then they're not supported. One of the main reasons they're not supported is the trash ass media, and the dumb fucks who believe the shit. I didn't believe none of that. Quantum Break was revealed in 2013 with the Xbox One, and I knew, because I loved. Don't get me wrong, I grew up in the era of Back to the Future, and I love time travel, and I knew that was going to be the shit. And so I waited and waited and waited and waited. And I got it. Didn't listen to nobody. I played it. People hated the fact that it had a TV show in it. I thought that was cool as shit.
Yep.
Video game tied with the hero side, and then you see the villain side in the TV show. When has that ever been done? Never.
It was awesome.
Never.
It was awesome.
It was freaking amazing. I set my controller down for that 25-minute TV show every time it came on, and I was like, well, kick my feet up. Let's see what's going on the bad guy side. And I mean, the game was fantastic. It had replayability. You could go back and choose the other option that you didn't pick on every time you got to pick an option, but nobody supported it. People said it was trash. That game was fantastic. Will we ever see another one? I freaking doubt it. I mean, you got to support it. I mean, I don't understand. We bitch, not me personally. People bitch and bitch and bitch. They want new IPs, but then when they make them, nobody supports them. So why is Sony or Microsoft going to, why would they try? They could just keep going, well, here's Call of Duty 178. Let's keep making that shit over and over every year.
Right. Here's Call of Duty. Here's Titanfall. Here's, I don't know, Battlefield 5000. Here's
Battlefield.
Destiny 2001. I mean, all these games that are multi-plats that keep coming out that are selling on the Xbox versus... Well, like Salty said, it's just the culture of the two. Sony has single players, and their audience supports it, and Xbox's audience obviously isn't supporting their IPs in single player games. So,
what really shocked me is the people have supported the reboot of Wolfenstein. I did, and
yes,
and I hope the new one does well. But it surprises me because there's no multiplayer, there's no microtransactions in it that I know of. I don't have the game. I want it, but. None of that I know of, and people actually like it. But how long has that been around? That's basically a reboot of a game that's been around since the 80s.
True.
Yeah,
true.
And that kind of follows the model of cinematography in Hollywood, right? It seems like once you get something that is kind of a banger, they just keep rebooting it over and over and over.
Right, right. And that's my biggest complaint. I would like to see something new and innovative. That's what I'm ready for. Like, I mean, and also Wolfenstein, that's Bethesda, and Bethesda's kind of its own little animal there with its support and its fan base. So, I mean, that you can contribute that to why Wolfenstein did pretty well. But yeah, man, I mean, it just seems like there's nothing new that comes out, and if it's new, it doesn't do very well. People don't support it. But if there's this big name behind it, well, this is why Nintendo is still doing well. Mario, 2001 million, you have 1 million versions of Mario, and people are still buying it because it's Mario.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that brings me back to my subject. That I talked about, I think it was 2 last podcasts. Xbox kind of needs that. They still have Halo, and that's pretty much it. And I mean, they're still selling that, but they need multiple IPs like that. Then they don't have.
They do.
Let's just talk about the video that you did real quick. Let's talk about Fable and the interview that Shannon Loftus had. I personally have an issue with Shannon Loftus. Every interview I hear from her, my mind blows up, and it just kind of, I don't understand.
You mean Shannon failed us?
Yeah, seriously. So anyway, there's an interview that came out, and it was in regards to Fable and what's going on with that, and the things that she was saying about this game, and we're gonna give it, we're gonna give it a break, or it's just like. Fable is that game that, I don't think I come across an Xbox fan and they're like, man, I hate Fable. I'm glad that franchise is dead. Screw that franchise. You know what I'm saying?
No, nobody says
it's
that.
It's a beloved franchise, and it falls into the same category of Xbox, pulling the trigger too fast and not giving these developers the time they need to develop their games, and they just can't. They can studios, they can, you know, titles and stuff like that. The thing that they were talking about with, you know, the Fable game that was in development that they canned, it sounds like a good game to me. It's free to play, you know, it's open world, you play with your friends and stuff like that. Nick, let's hear about what you have to say, because I know you did a video on this. So what's your take on the whole situation with the Fable franchise? And
like,
you know,
what really, I'd have to pull up the article, but what really triggered me was the statement where it was like, well, we're gonna give it time to breathe, and we just kind of want to give it time to breathe and sit. And I'm like, okay, but Fable 3 came out in what, 2010, 2011, and it's 2017. It's been 6 going on 7, maybe 8 years since the last one you released, and they're just mad that Legends didn't do well, and they canned Lionhead Studios because Legends didn't do very well. And like you said, it was going to be a good game, but I think it was just a little before its time. If they would have waited, they would put that game out, you know, in 2015, 2016. I think it would have done way better, because that game sort of would have been more welcome to the gaming community. But ever since it came out early and it didn't do well, and they weren't getting much acclaim about it, and their fan base was kind of like, what's this? It's not Fable, because it was a way different idea than the previous 3. People didn't really get it. They didn't do much with it. And so, I mean, that's goes to the subject of, well, you got to support the game. So that's true. You do got to support it. But the fact that they're like, well, we're going to let it sit and let it breathe. It's been 7 years. I mean, you have plenty of time to let it breathe. You might as well go ahead and put another one out, but they already canned Lionhead. So, I mean, I don't know what Microsoft's going to do with it. But I mean, I just didn't like the article. She was just sitting there talking about, oh, I love the franchise. That's why I moved to England, because I wanted to help out with Fable 2. And, oh, I'm behind this franchise, but we're not getting another damn franchise. So, you know, your words, nothing matches up on that.
Yeah, she contradicts herself all the time in interviews, dude.
Right. And it hacked. It really did hack me off, man. That one did. That statement, I was like, what are you talking about? Let it breathe. It's already been 6 or 7 years, and you shut down the studio. There's no letting it breathe. It's you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it.
They ain't going to do it.
So it's just, I don't understand it. It just seems like the perfect complement to the Halo, the Gears, you know, these shooter franchises, the multiplayer franchises. You have this IP that's known. It's like, you know, Fable is known. It's a known commodity. Get some people in there, and, you know, there's game models to follow, you know, ESO online.
Right. Halo Storm said make Fable 4 in the franchise. Yeah. And in my video, I said you could literally, there is so much potential with the way the game is made and the style of the game, and it's set in like sort of medieval sort of times. Like, you could literally take that idea and turn it into a massive multiplayer game, and players would be open to that. Put a story, just have a story driven behind it, and turn it into, you know, a Destiny sort of Borderlands looter, whatever you want to do. There's so much you could do with that game, and so much potential behind that game, that they just sort of just canned it. You know, Hailstorm said make Fable 4 and get rid of it, but I don't think they would need to do that. There's just so much potential behind it. And like you said, they need that idea. If you imagine a game like that was like ESO really well, exclusive to Xbox One X, and it was really good, how many people you think would pick up an Xbox One X? But they just don't have games like that.
So we all know the model, and it just, you know, from the outside looking in, it kind of seems like an easy decision. But it is what it is. You know, Phil does his thing, but in the end, you know, Shannon Loftus is the GM for first party studios. And like I've said before, I've stated in my statements, I don't think she's qualified for the job. I think she has made very poor decisions when it comes to the first party titles. I think she has blinders on about
I think she's too much of a casual gamer, dude. She reminds me of somebody that sits at home and plays Candy Crush on her freaking phone.
Yeah.
If you're going to tout Zoo Tycoon at where was it? It wasn't E3. I'm drawing a blank.
It was the conference in Europe.
Yeah. If you could Gamescom, if you're going to tout Zoo Tycoon and that crap, I mean, that screams casual gamer. Are you kidding me? Go away.
Yeah, so Yeah, so I had this discussion with Phil. It's crazy that, the guy in charge just plays games and he gets in parties and, he plays Destiny and he's a gamer, he's in charge of this, the Xbox division, but he's an actual gamer. I don't care about his gamer score. I just know that he cares about gaming and
Oh
he's
yeah.
passionate about it. I don't necessarily know that about some of the other people, and I don't want to call for anybody to get their jobs, waxed, but in the end, it's a performance thing, So if anything's struggling in the division right now, it's the first party studios. Because she was
I've
asked,
watched
she
I've
was
watched
go ahead.
many interviews with Phil Spencer, and I'll just
Mhm.
say this: and him on stage, he comes across as a passionate gamer, and he comes across as someone who is not just a casual gamer. And he's been in the industry for a long time. He comes across as somebody who wants our platform to have good games, first party games, and he seems like he cares about our platform. But he's only one man. He's a one chief with a bunch of Indians that a lot of these Indians, I don't think they know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
He can't do it so much at the end of the day.
One of the other things she said in an interview is they're like, so back in the 360 we had all these like banger exclusives. We had Gears and we had Halo and all this other stuff, and she's like, well, today's day, this is a different day and age, and it's hard to develop games that turn into iconic franchise. I'm just like, come on, give me a
No.
break, dude. So it is what it is. Let me know in the chat if you guys want Fable to be a franchise in Xbox. Do you want it to come back? Could you care less? So one, if you want it to be a franchise that continues, or two, you don't care. So yeah, that's that. So in the news, we had some things come out right after we had the Saltiest podcast on last Sunday. OG backwards compatibility became a thing.
A
I report,
thing.
I was talking about in one of my videos that I speculated it was going to be coming out in November because that's when 360 backwards compatibility hit. But surprise, surprise, it's here. So let's talk about it. Some of the titles that came out were Black, Crimson Skies, Dead to Rights, Fusion Frenzy, Ninja Gaiden Black, and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes, sir.
Oh, how do you guys feel about this OG Xbox backwards compatibility?
Bro. I think it's good. Like I said, there's only a few like real games I really want to play. I really want to play Knights of the Old Republic, Ninja Gaiden. I do want to play Fusion Frenzy, and I only want them to bring back Fusion Frenzy if it's online play, not just couch play only. Because if me, you, Jago, Shameless, whoever, Firelord, whoever's in the party, you guys will get messed up in some Fusion Frenzy. I will mess all you guys up in that game, hands down. So I'm looking forward to those two games specifically. Excited for those two games specifically. So for me, yeah, I am hyped for those two games. But that's about it. But I think it's really good, especially since they're getting the 4K enhancements and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
So it's gonna be nice.
Well, see, with the backwards, so here's the deal. They showed side by side, so automatically on the S right now it scales up to 1080p. So it looks way better right now, just with nothing done to it. And then with the power of the X, I think it scales up even further. Don't quote me if I'm wrong, but these games look amazing. Jago, what are you excited about these titles? Does it bring back some old memories? What's up, dude?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but I never, ever, ever bought Knights of the Old Republic. I wasn't. I grew up. I'm a Star Trek fan first. You know what I'm saying? So I never bought
You're a
that.
Trekkie. Where's
Yeah.
the kick button? Where's the kick button?
Out, bro. Get his ass out.
Google Hangouts.
Hey, bro, what's going on?
No, dude, my dad was a Trek fan.
Yeah, mine was too.
I have fond memories of watching the original Star Trek with my dad when I was like 10 years old when it was on reruns in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? So I was a Trekkie. So I never got into Knights of the Old Republic, but I heard about it and I knew it was fantastic and a big thing back then. My big thing, I think it's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Phil said, from now on, all your games will go with you, and that's great. He's proven that.
Mm-hmm.
I have fond memories of playing Halo, of course, on the original Xbox, but I have fond memories of playing Ninja Gaiden, and that game for its time was so good, so far past what other games looked like, and the story was good, and how it looked. And people are saying now they're playing it, they may have never played it, or they've played it then and they're playing it now. And they're like, oh, this game still looks so good. Yeah, dude, I'm ecstatic that Microsoft is doing that. Whether you actually use the service or not, it's still fan service. You know what I'm saying? And whatever we get that Sony don't get, that's just a plus in our corner. You know what I'm saying? So yes, it's a fantastic thing, and I'm glad they're doing it. I can't wait to play Ninja Gaiden again.
So here's the deal. We all like options, and I think that, this was planned from the start. When Microsoft decided to do the backwards compatibility forward and back with the 360, I know for a fact they're like, okay, we're going to do Xbox 360 and then just have everything going forwards and back so nothing's left behind, because that's their main thing. And I think it's cool, man. I mean, everything you buy digitally from here on out, it can move forward, so that just helps people stay with the brand.
Yep.
Because if you have your gamer score and you have like hundreds and hundreds of games moving forward, it's hard to move away from that brand if you think about it.
Exactly.
Because it's hard to leave all that behind. And I think that's the main reason behind this, is because they just want people to stay with the brand. So I love KOTOR. I haven't bought it yet because I'm knee deep in, Warframe. But I will play through that game again. I love that game. Like I said, I've stated it. It's just, I feel like it is the best RPG of all time. It is the best Star Wars game of all time. People can argue that, but I'm a big Star Wars dude.
You're wrong.
Hater. I need bagels.
You're wrong. The best RPG of all time was made by the same developers, but it's not that game.
Oh my God. You're going to say what? Mass Effect?
You already know what it is. Yes. That is correct.
Okay.
Yes, it is. 1, 2, and 3.
So
KOTOR's number 4.
Coats. So
Nate just called me a hoe. That's messed up.
Let's talk about one of the things that was in social media. I want to touch upon this. It's kind of a touchy subject for some of the people out there that get triggered easily. So hold on to your butts. So anyway, if you guys didn't know, Xbox sent out these care packages to people in the gaming media all over YouTube. You saw this on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
They're sending out pictures. They have a picture of a box, and they're like, "What could this be?" And I'm like, "That's an Xbox One X." Surprise! And then people are just all over the place. Thank you, Xbox. Thank you for my my care package. And it was like an Xbox One X. It was like 10 games or something like that. Some people said it was
20.
10,
It was
20 games.
It was 20. Yeah.
Free games, an Xbox, all this stuff. It's like Game Pass, Xbox Live, all this stuff.
Where's mine?
Okay, so exactly. I tweeted out. I'm like, I was kind of like being sarcastic. I'm like, and I went the opposite. I was like, I can't believe how unlucky I am. I didn't get an Xbox, and I was just kind of going counter on it. And I had a picture of the box. Some people didn't read my tweet, and they're like, "Congratulations, you're the luckiest person." I'm like, dude, I was just kind of being sarcastic. But anyway, a lot of these Xbox One X's went out to some people in the media and on YouTube that have been historically anti-Xbox, and they've been non-supportive of the brand, but they get this shipments sent out to them, and it was kind of a big outlash within the community, because a lot of people are like, well, why aren't you sending out these Xboxes to the people that were loyal to the brand,
That box might as well have been full of salt, as salty as it made some people to see that certain people were getting that box.
It's true, man. It's true. They open it up and just like, it's like a Jack in a Box, and it explodes with salt all over. fun, right?
Yeah.
Nah, man, I think Microsoft did
Salt
this.
all over the face.
I think they did it just to pretty much either one, they're being sarcastic assholes. Here's an Xbox One X. You've been talking all this trash, so here you go. Here's the most powerful console of all time. Now you got it. Now you got one. Now you got to do something with it. Or they did it just for better publicity. And I'm pretty sure it's the latter. But I would really love for it to have been the first one. And I really wish they would slide a note in there like, "Suck it. Here's your Xbox One X," like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They didn't do that, but it would have been funny, but they didn't. But I think it's just more so for better publicity. Maybe people will get it and they'll say, "Oh, well, I got this Xbox One X and I support the brand now," and they have a lot on the line with this One X, I think, and so they really got to kind of put all their chips on the table.
So I don't know. Do you think who's in the right here, or is nobody in the right?
I know why they were doing it. It's trying to sway those passionate Xbox haters, the ones they sent them to, which was a lot of people that hated on Xbox and hate Microsoft. I understand why they did it. What pisses me off is they didn't send me one and they don't know me from shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's where all the salt is, for real, man. Where's mine, bro?
Yeah,
come on, man. I gotta go to work and work all this overtime just to get one.
Let the salt flow.
Yeah, but I mean, I know why they did it. They're trying to get. They sent them to. I seen a guy on YouTube. He's got 1 million subscribers, and it showed up in my feed. They sent him one. I had never seen him in my life until Friday, but they sent him one, and he's got 1 million subscribers. They're trying to sway his fans and other people they sent them to go jump on Microsoft, because if they traditionally are a Microsoft hating channel, and they get a X and they praise it, their subscribers may go, "Wow," because they're gonna make videos on it. "Wow, this thing is legit. This makes the PS4 Pro look like the resolution box that it is. I need to go pick it up." I don't understand why they were doing it. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna get salty because they ain't send me one. They don't know me from Adam. What the hell?
I'm salty and I'm joking. But watch PlayStation now. Watch some people start getting PS4 Pros. Like PlayStation is like hopping on. Oh, we got to send out some PS4 Pros to these other people. Let's go. Let's send them out.
If people didn't know, if you guys are in some kind of under a rock somewhere, people on YouTube get free shit all the time. Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's just it's the way it is. They get free games. They get free. If a dev wants you to.
Well, let's say it like it is, Salty. People on YouTube with at least 1 million subscribers or 750,000 subscribers get free shit.
Yeah, us lowly channels, we don't get shit.
Yeah,
but
us 230 subscribers.
But honestly, it is what it is. Like honestly, I think it's a genius thing on the side of Xbox. Like I was trying to get free stuff from Xbox. Who doesn't, right? I mean, on Twitter, there's giveaways all the time. Everybody's retweeting and stuff like that. But it's just human nature to try to get something for free if it's free. But I'm not salty because they didn't choose me over someone that hated on the brand. Like, let's be honest, it's called non-profit work when you get to that level of things. Like when you're super salty that your favorite YouTuber didn't get free shit. Number one, it's just kind of like you're taking it to an extreme, because why do you even care? Like, why is that a big deal to you? It didn't happen, so kind of just move on. But when it comes to the business side, I think it's genius on Xbox's part, because if these people do get these Xboxes for free, number one, they're going to be happy about that, and no matter how big they are. And the Xbox One X is a genius console. The digital foundries of the world's got their hands on this thing, and they're blown away. And they talk so much shit on the original Xbox.
Oh yeah, all the time.
So you're taking all these people that were anti-Xbox original people, and you're turning them to pro.
Words.
Yeah, it's genius if you think about it, because all those people that hate your product before are saying positive things. So I think it's genius on their part. I'll just put it that way.
I mean, it's a good idea.
PlayStation haters are potential Xbox fans.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, for comedic relief, I really wish they would have just slipped a letter from Phil Spencer, like, here's your Xbox One X. I hope you enjoy it, bitches. Like one of those type of things, because that would have been funny. Like that, but it wouldn't have happened. But still,
it's interesting, man. It's just one of those things that's it was going around, floating around in social media. So I was like, wow. I mean, it is what it is. I was salty that I didn't get one, and just because it would, it would have been nice to get a free Xbox. But
I'm really salty I didn't get one, man. And they don't know me from shit. I'm really salty about that.
What, you guys haven't heard my name? You guys not know me.
I'm just jealous, bro. I want one. I don't want to have to go back to work next week and work more overtime just to get one.
Yeah, no shit.
So anyway, I'm going to get on a topic that a majority of people already know their answers to, but I want to hear from you guys, because I heard from you guys in the comment section of my videos. I did 2 videos on this, so get your butts ready. Microsoft finally canned the Kinect. Should they have made this move sooner, or what's the deal? Like, we're super happy that this is the Kinect's gone, right? What's your guys' take on this situation?
I'm glad it's gone. Like, to me, what this represents is we're moving on. And that's just what what it means to me, man. I mean, the original Kinect came out with the Slims, the Xbox 360 Slims, and that was like 2009, 2010-ish, and they kept pushing that on us.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again, and putting out games for that. And I really didn't ever utilize a Kinect ever, not once. Never talked through it. Never did anything with it. I played Kinect on New Year's Eve one night, and that was after having a few daddy sodas and hanging out with the boys.
Daddy sodas.
We were just, freaking boxing and playing golf, and I woke up and my body hurt the next day, but that's literally the only time I've ever been on a Kinect. And so I think them going ahead and canceling it and canning it is them saying, we're done. We're focusing on games from here on out. The Xbox One, that whole regime is done. It's over with. Here's what we're focusing on: games, 4K, performance, power. This is what we're doing. This is what you guys want. So that's what we're moving on to.
I agree. So I picked up the OG Xbox on launch in 2013. And I was pretty salty that I was forced to pay for the Kinect. I'm not going to lie. But I wanted to get – so, Jago, did you pick it up when it first came out?
Oh, yeah. I got the day one edition, brother. Had day one on the controller, and they got the Kinect. I didn't want the damn Kinect. I had the Kinect with the 360. And I mean, I was kind of pissed. I was paying an extra $100 for it, but I was like, whatever. I'm a Microsoft fan. Always have been since the first one. I'm going to buy the Microsoft product. But it was cool. Let's just be honest. It was cool in the 360 era, and and I did use it. I'm not gonna lie. I used it to play some games with the kids. I used it to play or say voice commands, Xbox on, and all that. But I haven't used it since I traded in my 2 OG Xbox Ones last year. This time because I didn't get the free adapter. It's still sitting on top of my TV. I've said that before. But I don't have the adapter. I'm not going to sell it because GameStop won't give you $1 for it. So screw that. I'm just going to keep it. And it's cool, but let's be honest. It's a niche thing, like the light gun for Nintendo back in the day. Where's our light gun now that comes with the Microsoft console? I mean, really?
Yeah.
And we all knew it was just like the Wii motion controls. I mean, and the PlayStation Move. The only reason people are using PlayStation Moves now are for freaking VR. Sony figured out a way to make that technology make them some more money. All those motion control crap, or like the VR, like the Kinect, it's just, we all knew it was bound. As soon as it came out, it had a date of expiration. We all knew that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised. I mean, I'd put in the chat, I thought it was already dead. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
but,
Punk said it best, saying Xbox on or Xbox record this is probably the best thing.
That was the best thing. Yes, it was. That was the best feature.
So you're gonna pay an extra $100 just to say Xbox record this or Xbox turn on or Xbox off? Heck no.
Here's the deal. Like back in 2013, there was there weren't all these devices that did that. You know, there
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the Amazon device or the Google device. The technology was like ahead of its time, and you know, looking back, it's just it was, you know, Donnie D forced the subject, and it was, you know, put in the box, and it lowered the power of the console, and it was still $100 more than the PlayStation. It was underpowered.
If
So
y'all
looking back,
didn't know, this is a little fact for y'all. If y'all didn't know, Ghost Adventures, actually, if you ever watched that show, they actually used a Kinect probably 3-4 years ago, was their as a start of what they call now their SLS camera, their structure light sensor camera. The first version of it was actually using the Kinect for the 360.
yeah, like a lot of the technology that was from the Kinect, it was used by NASA. The technology is found in the iPhone X. So a lot of the technology has been siphoned out into other forms of technology, and it's pushed the industry forward.
Yeah.
But like as a peripheral, the idea wasn't good. You know, it wasn't solid. It was kind of like VR, in my opinion. I know a lot of people get salty on that, but hey, you know, that's what this is all about. I think the PlayStation VR is a failed peripheral, just like the Kinect. I've made my stance clear on this. I just think the technology is ahead of its time, and they've released it too early. The Pro was made specifically for that, but I'm not going to get into that side of things.
Yeah.
I just think that the VR side, that's why Microsoft isn't, you know, having VR, their form of VR on the X, because a lot of people have asked, it's just like, well, why haven't they mentioned anything about VR? It's because they have such a bad taste in their mouth from the Kinect situation that they don't want to have another peripheral sync them. You know what I'm saying? They don't.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if any peripherals come out in the future for Xbox because of this situation. It doesn't, you know, I don't think they'll have any branded peripherals, and you could correct me if you think if you have a different opinion, let's talk about it. But I think that from here on out, they're not going to do peripherals, you know.
No, I don't think
I
so
think it's just
either. I
going to
think
be third party shit, you know.
I
Not
think
for a
they've
while.
spent so much money in R&D on the consoles, and now that's where they got their focus on, and that's where they need to have their focus on. Yeah, I don't see any peripherals like the Kinect ever coming out. And I think if they have VR, actual VR, not AR, because I know they're into AR, but I think if they have VR, it's going to be a third-party device, like you're saying.
So it's interesting. You know, it's a universal. It's not something that, you know, is cut down the middle. I think a lot of people picked up their Xboxes a little bit later, and maybe they weren't forced to get that Kinect. So when I made my videos about, you know, the Kinect adapter, they're like, who cares about the Kinect adapter? No one has it. And I was like, come on, man. You guys got to just not be all or nothing with your thought processes. You know, some people did like the Kinect. Not everybody hated it, you know. So
I
there's
liked it.
all, you know, Xbox On was a cool thing. It was cool as hell. It just felt like you were in the future, man. It's just something that I think that, you know, when I was a kid, looking forward to things that I would be doing, I'd have floating cars and a jetpack, and then tell my TV to do something for me. That's like future shit right there, right?
Yeah.
So looking back, it was, you know, it was an idea, but it was failed. The way they went about it is what ended up to the death of that situation. I think the Kinect needed to be, man, if they could have somehow built it into the console, but then if they built it in the console, people would say shit about that, like it's spying on them or whatever.
Yeah. And you
But
couldn't
the
take it
thing
out.
is, like, we carry around phones all the time that have microphones and cameras, you know?
Yep.
So if you guys have a big deal about that, you shouldn't be carrying a smartphone in your pocket, you know?
Nope.
So it is what it is, man. We have support for webcams, and people can use those, and the Kinect is officially in the ground. So RIP the Kinect, right? We're all crying over it. Yeah, we'll hold a visual later today on social media, but it is what it is. So anyway, in chat, I've heard some things brought up about this GameStop thing with their the answer to the Xbox Games Pass. Have you guys heard about this? If not,
No.
Yeah, I heard about it a little bit. I don't know all the details to it, so fill me in.
I don't know about it, but if someone could link the article in chat, whoever brought that up, we'll take a look at it. And then while you're doing that, let's talk about this fiasco with Amazon and the Xbox One X pre-orders. I'm sure you guys have heard about this.
Yeah.
A lot of people are salty on this. This thing triggered a lot of people, man. And I can't blame them. I didn't personally pre-order on Amazon, and I had to cancel my pre-order anyway. But we won't get into that. We'll talk about the people that did pre-order on Amazon. Amazon gave them a little juicy message that said, hey, you're not going to get your Xbox on November 7th. Hey, try getting it in December, So let's talk about this, guys. Like, Jago, did it happen to you? Obviously, you had to cancel your pre-order. But
when I first ordered it, I ordered it from Amazon because the Microsoft store was slow as molasses, running downhill during wintertime, getting their pre-orders ready. And so I ordered it from Amazon, and my girl, I told her to go look, and she went and looked to check and make sure everything was good a couple hours later, and we couldn't even find my pre-order. And then when we called them and talked to them, they were like, you didn't order one. We're like, what? So I ordered one, and it's like it didn't even go through. So I was like, screw Amazon, and I ended up ordering one from the Microsoft store.
Yeah. Dude, did you hear about this news, Nick?
No, I haven't heard about this news because I didn't pre-order one, and I really not yet. But that's if you pre-order on Amazon and you put your money and they charge you already, and you have to wait until December to get your X, that's terrible and messed up. And did they give any reason why? Like, did they say why you had to wait, or what was the deal behind it?
No, I think they just sent emails to people saying you're out of the blue. Your X isn't going to arrive on November 7th. Is what I've been reading.
And that's messed up. Maybe a few days later, but if they have to wait all the way to December, that's just
like the end of November or December is what some people are getting.
Dude, that's messed up. You have to wait that long. That's unacceptable, and Amazon should probably do something about that. Now, there has to be more behind it. Maybe they're just not getting enough Xboxes or whatever. Maybe they don't have any in stock. I don't know. Nobody knows. But yeah, that's pretty messed up.
So everybody in the chat, where did you guys pre-order first of all? And did you pre-order on Amazon? Have you experienced any of these issues? I want to know if it's hit any of you guys, because this is unfortunate because of the way how popular the Xbox One X is right now. They're talking about having low supplies in England and stuff, and Xbox is specifically telling people, hey, if you're waiting to get the Xbox without a pre-order, good luck. So it's man, it sucks for all those people that day one were waiting for the announcement at Gamescom to put their pre-order in, and then now they're getting this bad news. So anyway, I'm looking up right now this news. It's called the Power Pass for GameStop, apparently. So for $60
for 6 months or something.
Yep. 6 months of unlimited pre-owned gaming. That's crazy. That man, if you're Microsoft, that's gotta hit you right.
What is it exactly, Salty? $60 for 6 months? Can you get?
So what you do? How it works is you get to pick one used game, any of them, no matter how new, and take it home to play on your system for as long as you want in that 6 month period. Whenever you beat it or get bored, you simply walk up to your nearest GameStop and exchange it for the next used game. So essentially, it's like what, GameFly?
It's like Redbox or GameFly, yeah.
And GameFly is still around, by the way.
That's crazy, dude. I think that's a game changer for GameStop, dude.
It
I
is.
It's a game changer, but you still got to get your lazy ass up and go to GameStop.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Plus, you got to install. I don't know. Honestly, I would rather do that over Xbox Game Pass. Honestly.
Now, I do agree with you. I would much rather do that over the Game Pass for Xbox. That much is true. I mean, I just got to get up and go. That's part of the reason why I do mostly digital. I just don't feel like going into GameStop and talking to somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about. But
are there You live
That's a
out in the
cool
country
idea.
though, right? Like, how many Game Stops are by you though? Like in the city, like there's Game Stops all over the place, you know.
Well, for
There's
me,
one 10 minutes away and another one 15 minutes
Yeah.
away. They're actually pretty frequent down here, more than you think.
well, for me,
okay.
there's 1, 2, 3 and a 10-minute drive of where I'm at.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad.
So Jago,
Yeah,
would you? Because my opinion for the Xbox Game Pass is it's garbage. Honestly, I don't see like there's value there for certain people, but for me, there's not value.
Don't even
Okay?
get me started on Game Pass. I don't do the Game Pass. You know, that's
Mhm.
cool. I think Game Pass is ruining games with gold, so don't get me started on that. But what I
It
do,
is a cold hard fact. The games with gold has been wrecked since they came out with
garbage.
Games Pass, because if you
Yeah.
look back to the month the Game Pass came out, we have had garbage released since then, and it will
Yep.
continue to be that way. But anyway, so would you
I would
do?
do it. Yep.
You would do
I
this
would
over
do it.
Xbox Game Pass, okay?
Oh, most definitely.
So,
Because I was talking to the news yesterday, and Punk and Corpse and everybody was in there playing with us. So shady. I got my PSVR at a deal, a little bit of a deal from a GameStop guy last year, and I would most definitely do that because I know like every GameStop, either I know them or my girl knows them, the managers, and you can get a deal. They will cut you a deal or whatever, a little bit of a deal, and I know them, so much because I go in there just whether I'm buying anything or not. I just go in to look because GameStop's offering more now, like all their collectibles. I don't even talk about the pop figures. I don't collect those, but like the statues and stuff. And I would most definitely do that. And keep it as long as I want, whether I played one game or not. I mean, that would be my bad if I only did one game for 6 months. But yeah, I'd do that.
no, honestly, I don't really go to GameStop much anymore. I went there this weekend because we were in the mall. And my kid was like, "Oh, let's go into GameStop," because she's like, I don't know,
That's
she
Kid
like
Magnet.
the video games or something. So we went in there and they had all those, what you were talking about, the figurines, and they had a Master Chief helmet and stuff like that. But honestly,
I
I
saw
couldn't tell
that
you.
on Twitter, by the way. It was cool as shit.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you like the last time I stopped in a GameStop because I'm all digital now, so I don't have a reason to go into there.
Well, I'm still more physical. I'm me and Nuke are kind of like that way. I love my game boxes, dude. I want to have something at home. You know what I'm saying? I want to have the disc in case something happens to my hard drive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I still got the disc to download it to. So that's why I still am the way I am.
So it's interesting, man. I'm gonna have to look more into this article, and I might do a video on it on my channel. But it's interesting because if you look at GameStop in general, they're losing money left and right, and their stocks are they're plummeting. And I think this is just a last ditch effort on their part to save their business. Yeah, honestly, and I don't.
It is.
I don't think that this is going to save their business, but it might prolong the death of it.
Yeah, it'll keep them afloat. It's like I said, it's a good idea. It really is. I mean, but the issue is getting people to walk into the store, and you have people like Jago that do want to go in and have the physical copy. Then you have some people like me and you who are just like, why would I want to go in there and buy it when I can just have it on demand, right away? And that's
it is convenient though. I'll give you that. I know why y'all are that way. It's very convenient just to sit in your recliner and go to the store and buy the digital copy.
For me right now, it's just the game's got to install anyway. So why would I go to GameStop, get the physical copy when the game's got to install, when I can just go ahead, click on install, buy it here, go to work, games install when I come back. Like that's just really what it is. But it's a good idea for GameStop. I mean, there's going to be plenty of parents who have kids who are going to rather take that model, say, oh, my kid wants this game and this game and this game. Oh, you mean I can only pay you a certain amount for 6 months and my son can come in here and swap it out if we take care of it, swap it out anytime we want to? Yeah, I can see a lot of parents, going that route versus one thing at $60. They can just go. And
I will say this too. Every time I go into a GameStop, it's not a desert island in there. There's so many people. No matter which GameStop I go to, there's so many people going. They're still very frequented business. And every time I go in there, there's 20-year-olds, there's teenagers, there's moms with kids, there's dads with their kids, there's just dads, there's 40-year-olds. I'm a 40. There's me going in there. There's I I've seen older people than me going in there. So I mean, I don't think GameStop is going to go out of business anytime soon. People say that GameStop's going to go out of business in 3 years. Fat chance on that, because GameStop's going to try everything they can do to adjust their business model to stay relevant. And I don't see it in 3 years. I don't see it in 5 years. And, you know, they may downsize in 3 to 5 years, but I say 10 years at the least before you see maybe GameStop go away.
Yeah, I mean, that's what good businesses do at the end, right? They make adjustments to what's going on in the market. And that's the difference between businesses that stay in business and the ones that go out of business, because the ones that can adjust, they go out of business. So they will go out of business.
Or won't, yeah. So, yeah, they will go out of business, yeah.
So the fact of the matter is if, you know, this is new to me. Honestly, this is the first time reading it. I think it's a good good buy. I honestly am very intrigued in it, and I probably will do it. Honestly, I think the only thing that could be a hang up for this would be the supply of the used games. Like, who's to say how many of a certain game are going to be on hand? Like, and if it's a new game, like, is it going to be in short supply? And if you want to get that game, it's not there. That's the only thing that I could see in my mind that could be an issue. You know, so
you know what would hurt? You know what would kill this GameStop thing or GameFly is the Red Box. I've been to Red Box many times trying to rent a game, and the game I want, damn near nine times out of 10, the game is gone, and it won't be back. Every time you go to it, it's out. If Red Box would take the same approach that GameStop's doing, you know, you pay more of a fee to Redbox. If they would take that same approach, they would kill that whole thing that GameStop's trying to do. But if you go to Redbox, you're trying to rent a game that you don't want to buy and it's not there, I mean, that's pretty much pointless. If the only reason you're going to the Redbox is to rent a game, what's the point in taking your time out of the day and stopping? So
yeah, because ultimately with GameFly, that was the issue. Like, I tried they had like promotional things where you could try out GameFly, and every time I wanted to get a new game, it said not available, not in stock.
Yep, not in stock.
So that's the issue here. It sounds like a really good deal, but honestly, I think it's going to be a big issue having stock available, because like, how many games can they actually have in that small GameStop? You know.
Well, let's be honest. If you go to a GameStop, I know I'm not the only one. If I'm taking my time to do that service, and a game's just come out, what are you going to GameStop to get that you don't want to buy but you want to try? You're going to get that game that just came out, and how likely is it going to be there?
And used,
not much. Yeah, and you got to be used.
So it's left up to, we'll see how it goes, but potentially it is a game changer for them. I think it might push the Xbox Game Pass to be better. I don't know if it will or not, because they're kind of different spaces and they have different games or whatever. But potentially it's competition for the Xbox Game Pass, and that's a good thing, because that's garbage in my opinion. So I don't know. Let me know in chat if you guys are excited about this GameStop thing. Let me know with a 1 if you are, 2 if you aren't. I just want to know what you guys think. So anyway, yeah, that's going to do it for the topics for the night, unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about. Nick, Jago, hello.
Thinking. I really don't know.
Unless you want to go over the whole Google phone thing we were talking about a while ago.
We won't put our tinfoil hats on for that. But that is pretty juicy. If you guys want to, we'll start that up on social media. That will be like an after party, from the Saltiest podcast. We'll get into some speculation there. So I want to thank everybody that stopped by tonight. Everybody in chat, you know who you are. All you guys have been great supporters. I love you guys. We're going to be, we're here for you guys, and we're just trying to grow a good community here, a positive community that supports one another. So I just want to give you guys, shout outs and thanks again. Thank you, Jago and Nick. It was a blast again. It always is, yes, man. Sir. So let's do some outros, and then we'll get out of here and get some gaming going. Nick, if you want to let them know what's going on.
Yep, Nick Fury. you know where you can find me: Twitter, YouTube. Star Wars Battlefront giveaway is still live. That'll be end on November 12th, and we'll announce it here on the podcast. And I'll be putting out a few more videos. I'm kind of strapped for time because I've been working like crazy overtime and working 12 hours a day because I gotta get ready for Christmas and Christmas shopping for the kids and trying to buy myself a Nintendo Switch and an Xbox One X and try to get some furniture. So it's like kind of me just doing crazy stuff. So I'll be trying to put out some videos. So you'll see videos maybe every other day whenever I can, but that's kind of what's going on with me. So there you go.
Good. Jago, what's up, man? Tell him what's up.
It's your boy Jago. You know where to find me: Xbox Live and Twitter at Jago. You can.
So anyway, we were short 2 members of our panel, but it's kind of a fluid situation. I'm a new channel. This is a new podcast, so I'm gonna get some stuff going. I had some talks with Pun Kiddish Gaming. Sorry, I screwed your name up. About him starting his YouTube and stuff like that. Anyway, what I'm gonna try to do is get some guests on here. I
think that's a fantastic idea.
So, if you're interested in trying, the whole podcast thing out, hit me up in my DMs. No nudes are necessary, all right? So I don't want to.
No, send him nudes. Do that. Send them all.
I've had some people that have hit me up already, but we'll get into that. I'm going to be trying to start a Discord channel up so we can have some good salty conversation about gaming, because that in the end I talk about that, and that's a big thing in this community. So I'll stay tuned on that. Saltiest Gaming, this is the channel you're at it right now. You can find me on Twitter, Saltiest Gaming 1 for the I, Xbox Live, Saltiest Gaming. I'll be doing some videos this week. I'll be talking about the GameStop Pass. That's interesting to me. We'll be doing a video on that. So stay tuned for all that. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Saltiest Gaming, Saltiest Podcast, episode 11. And as always, stay salty, my friends.
Stay salty.